This is a seat belt, and so is this. But as you can see, it's not like the ones most of us put on every day when we drive. It's called a racing harness, and it's used by drivers who like putting their foot down in their own car on a track day at a racing circuit. It provides extra safety for the demands of fast driving. Thousands of these are sold every year, and they're not cheap. But as you might have guessed, this one isn't going to keep anyone safe. It's a fake. This is a track day. It's where anyone can drive their own car to its limits, experiencing the thrill of whizzing around a circuit like a Formula One pro. And they're becoming increasingly popular. Over 10,000 drivers a year now turn up to days like this one to enjoy the thrill of speeding faster than is allowed on a public highway. Ed Moore is the race director at this circuit at Castle Combe in Wiltshire.
We have builders, farmers, accountants, city traders, all sorts of people. And it's a chance for them to stretch the legs of their road-based cars in the right way.
Many drivers customise their road cars and add safety features, of which one of the most crucial is the safety harness.
You can get the odd incident where people make a mistake, but if they've got the right equipment, the right seat, and a good harness, then there's a very strong chance that they're going to be perfectly okay. Just hurt pride.
Les Burdett is an accountant from Bristol. He got into track racing 5 years ago. Les reaches speeds of well over 100 miles an hour. And at that lick, it's no surprise that accidents like this near miss just in front of Les do happen.
I've had spins. We all have spins occasionally. I have seen cars in the barriers. That's probably the nightmare for any track driver.
Because of the risk of a crash, drivers need to be properly protected. So, Les has installed all the safety gear that he needs.
This is my 4-point harness. The bottom section does up across the lap. The shoulder straps clip into the top. That holds you back into the seat, and if I was unfortunate and had an impact, I'm not going anywhere. It's very, very safe.
Les bought a genuine belt that will keep him safe. But there are fake harnesses for sale, designed to look exactly like the genuine ones. Buy a fake harness and your safety in a car crash might not be guaranteed. Gareth Slay is director of GSM Performance, which specialises in harnesses and other motorsport safety gear.
Fake equipment has become a problem. There's a lot of auction sites that do sell these at very, very good prices. They're very good because they're probably not real in most cases, and we've seen a lot of them on there.
Genuine harnesses are carefully designed, built and tested to ensure they'll protect the driver in a high-speed crash. With the fakes, looks can be deceptive.
There's only a handful of key manufacturers in this industry, and generally these companies have been doing it for 40, 50 years and constantly developing them to ensure that they're as safe as they can be, whereas the companies that are making the fakes try to make them look similar but not really function the same. So it may look fantastic, but the functionality within the fixings and the buckles are what's failing, and that's the critical part of the belt.
One of the main brands being faked is called Takata.
So we've got two different Takata belts here, the genuine one and we've got a fake one. Well, for a start, the belt buckle. The fixings are completely different. They've essentially used a metal mounting point into the back of the buckle, whereas the genuine Takata actually uses the webbing which goes through the back of it. The next obvious difference is the spreader plate. So this material and the load spreading is to distribute the weight evenly across your waist. They've not even put that on this one.
Without a load spreader in a high-speed crash, the fake seatbelt could cut into the driver's abdomen, causing serious internal injuries.
The actual bolting points to the vehicle have used a metal end with sort of a plastic coating over some steel. The bolt points on the genuine one are just a much better design. The webbing's been folded correctly to give it more strength.
If the harness is not securely fixed to the car, there's every chance that the force of a crash could cause it to give way. Back at the circuit, Ed Moore's concerned about fake harnesses making their way into cars here.
If you're wearing a harness which is going to break suddenly, then you can move a lot in the car. You could whack your head on the steering wheel. You know, you could break your neck, break your arms, legs. Doesn't bear thinking about.
It's Trading Standards Officer Roger Edmonds' job to ensure the public's protected from dangerous products. So when he heard that large quantities of suspected fake racing harnesses were being sold online, he was concerned.
One of the UK-approved dealers contacted us and told us that he thought that somebody in our area was actually selling these fake harnesses. They had some concern that they'd seen them being sold on eBay.
The retailer was selling harnesses from top brands including Takata, Sparco and Sabel. The first step was to establish whether the harnesses being sold were actually fake. So, the team bought one of each brand and examined them.
It was very difficult on just visual inspection to tell whether the harnesses were fake or not. They had the test logo stitched into them as if they'd been tested by an accredited test house, and the general appearance and quality of the product looked very good, to be honest.
The fake safety label could easily have fooled a member of the public into thinking this harness was safe. But Trading Standards wanted to see how the fake harness would perform in the event of a serious accident. So they tested it by simulating a car crash at 50 miles an hour.
A crash test dummy, which was used in the harness in an impact situation, broke down completely under test, with the total obliteration, basically, of the crash test dummy.
This is the crucial moment when the racing harness mounting points fail catastrophically.
The implication for use by a human being was obvious.
Roger knew he had to take the trader out of operation before any dangerous fake harnesses could find their way into cars of unsuspecting drivers.
Obviously, our immediate cause for concern was how many had been sold and the horrific nature of the implication if these had been used and an accident had occurred.
Roger got a warrant and raided the seller's property.
And when we got there, we found 2 or 3 harnesses and computer and phone evidence that he had actually been selling them in a widespread way. And unfortunately, we found that he was selling not just in the UK, but in mainland Europe as well.
Thanks to the evidence seized, the seller is now facing a criminal prosecution. But Trading Standards has no idea how many dangerous fake harnesses have been sold.
Our great concern is that there are some still out there where people could be using them in rallies, and they do have an impact, and these products would break down. And we're trying our very best to get them recovered.
Fake Britain wanted to find out what experienced drivers like Les Burdett made of the fake harness test.
Oh my God, is that really something that somebody was selling? That's dreadful, absolutely dreadful. It just breaks away at the bottom and then strangles the guy. That is unbelievable. So you can imagine that a broken neck is probably going to be the least of your worries in that sort of accident.
Driving at speed with a fake harness would be much like being a skydiver with a faulty parachute. It would be that serious.